Talk. Ecological.
So I'm stood in the shop called By the Kilo with the owner, Jackie. So for anyone that's never shopped here, describe the shop.
It's a zero waste shop, and if anyone who doesn't know anything about this, it's a way of shopping without plastic, basically. So you come in, you buy everything by the weight, pastas, rice, nuts, seeds, porridge, flour, oils, vinegars, household cleaning products, shampoo, shower gels. The list is endless, herbs and spices, and also plastic-free toiletries. So the plastic-free toiletries have no plastic, have no nasty things in them, and it's just a new way to shop, really.
So what is the shopping experience compared to a main street shop?
It's a life-changing experience, I think. It's a new way of life for people. You can't just rush in. Well, you can just rush in, but usually there's lots of spillage. But you've got to think about what you buy. This shop's all about waste management, food management. You buy as little or as much as you want. We try and promote buying as little as possible. And the people who do come in regularly now say they save a lot of money because they're not forced to buy 3 for 2s in the supermarkets. They find it quite a therapeutic experience. The kids come in, we've got stools that the kids can work with the scales, which is a nice way to shop. And it's just a really nice atmosphere in the shop. And new customers, old customers help new customers, and they're all, congregate round our table. And it becomes a community experience, really.
So what would you say is the big aim for By the Kilo?
To save plastic, basically. In the first 6 months of opening, we saved 17,500 pieces of plastic going to landfill. It's probably more because that didn't include toiletries, and it was worked on 500-gram bags of food, going on what we've bought and sold in that 6 months. Obviously nuts and seeds all come in really small bags, so the numbers would be more. So it's probably nearer 25,000 pieces of plastic, where everybody contributes to that. So everyone who comes into the shop contributes to that figure, which is really exciting.
And where did the idea overall come from?
Well, I'm a plastic activist through my art, and my youngest daughter lives in Cornwall. And there's a lot of these down there. They're just about in every town, and there was nothing here between Darlington and Berwick, absolutely nothing. There was a few shops and a few people just tipping their toe in the water. So we just thought, right, we can combine my art, because I've always wanted to have an art gallery. We can combine the art with the food and the plastic element of it all, and just get the word out there and do it in many different ways.
Because Tynemouth was the first place in the North East to be awarded the plastic-free status, wasn't it? So what do you think other coastlines, especially in the North East, need to do to compete with yours?
I don't think it's about competing. It's never about competing. We are really free with our information. We've helped 7 other shops open in the North East, not under our brand, different people who want to do the same thing, and they've all opened now. And there's another 3 or 4 people who have come in, from Yorkshire and further up the coast, up Berwick way, and it's not a competition. We've all got the same end game. We all want to do the same thing, and it's all about working together. We work with a lot of different people to create a community to do exactly the same thing at the end.
And you mentioned about your art, so this is more than just a food shop. It's everything, really, isn't it?
It is. I did a fine art degree. I graduated in 2013, so it's quite new. But for the last 10 years, I've been working with plastic and recycled plastic and plastic bags mainly. And it creates a conversation. So it tags in with the shop, because it's got the same ground, and we talk. A lot of people come in and see the clippy mat that's on the wall, which is an old form of recycling from the war times, and a lot of people, especially older people, they can relate to that, which I've found in the past when I've exhibited it, and it just does create another conversation, because people think it's fabric, but when they get up close, it's plastic bags. So yeah, it's just about creating a lot of conversation to get the word out, to bring more people in to shop this way, because I think it is a new phenomenon in the North East, but and we were the first shop to open, but we certainly won't be the last, and that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to bring this to the North East, a new experience, an old experience it is, really. It's an old, from the way in shops, it's just a new concept. Sorry, not a new concept, a new way of shopping, a bit more hygienic.
So I'm a student. I come from a student station, and normally the student way is convenience and ease, and normally convenience and ease is cheap, and students go for cheap. So what do you do to compete with that?
I'd say all of our food is good quality, and because we do get a lot of students in, and because you can just buy what you need rather than what you're forced to buy, you're spending less. We're on a competitive sort of edge with the supermarket. We can't compete with 29 pence pasta from Tesco's. Our pasta's a really nice organic pasta, but you can just buy what you need, and this is what it's all about. You can buy a little bit, and that's what a lot of students do. They bring in little jars, and they fill little jars, and they spend a couple of pounds, but they've got like a week's worth of meals. So it's quite interesting how it's sort of panned out, because these things, when you open a shop, I've never been in retail before, so not since I was a teenager, and it's an interesting way, because old people really love it because they can come in and buy a little bit, and then you've got the other end of the scale. There's all the students who do want to come in and buy this way because they love it. The younger people are really on it now. The older people want help because they've created this situation. So it's a working community. Everybody's got the same game, like that they want to be in the same place at the end. So.
Talking back to plastics, was there a personal point in your life where you thought, right, this is a problem, I need to do something now? Yeah,
there was actually. I mean, I've always thought I was a good recycler, and but I did an exhibition at South Shields at Customs House a couple of years ago, and I did an installation with 2,500 used plastic bottles, and I collected them through a few friends and one of the runs up at Hexham Racecourse, but the people who collected it, they collected like 2,000 bottles in 5 weeks, and it was just a massive amount in a short space of time, and that highlighted their waste, because some of them, because they were just drinking the water at the gym and they were putting it in the bin at the gym, they didn't realise how much they were buying. So some of them were buying £50 worth of water a week, and it was just like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. So they actually, none of the people who collected really drink bottled water now. But while this exhibition was on, I was taking a picture of every piece of plastic I threw away in the house and used, and for a film for later down as a piece of artwork. And I collected 642 pieces of plastic in 5 weeks. Well, took photographs. So that meant I was throwing away at least 20 pieces of plastic a day. So for me, that was a massive turning point, and that was it. It just went from... obviously there wasn't any shops like this, so stopped buying a lot of things really. I wasn't buying my meat from the supermarket, I wasn't buying my milk from the supermarket, I got a milkman. I wasn't buying my bread from the supermarket, I was buying fresh local bread, and it changed my way of life actually. So yeah, that was the turning point for me, and that was long before the shop was even in my psyche.
Do you think it's a thing of people have to change their habits now, that you can't just go for ease and convenience? They need to, support local businesses and do something a bit different. Yeah. That's, it'll take a bit more time or a bit more money, but it's going to save us at the end of the day.
It is. It is a life-changing experience.